Welcome back to another episode of the Joey Musto Show presented by Team Musto. Today we're going to be taking a look at the past 7 days in the Maui real estate market. We're going to start Sunday, April 5th, go 7 days back from there, talk about how price reductions reached triple digits. We're going to talk about the 50 new listings, how four of them already went pending, but they were all condos. And then we're going to talk about two single family homes that I'm going to be keeping an eye on. So let's go ahead and get started with the price reductions. This was the biggest piece of news. Week of April 5th, 2026, we saw 104 price reductions, which is by far the most we've seen all year. It was 6.6% of the active market. Typically, we're seeing between 4 and 5% of the active market reduce its price each week. None of the price reductions resulted in new escrows. I think there was two reasons for this. One of them is that the price reductions were simply not big enough. And then the second one is that the price reductions came after being on the market for way too long. And there has just been a flood of new inventory since these things originally listed, combined with the fact that the price reduction was not enough to draw any kind of new interest. I think that's why we see none of these price reductions go pending. We saw 40% of all condo price reductions come from Kihei alone, 26 price reductions, mostly small cuts along South Kihei Road at places like Kihei Akahi and Maui Banyan, between $500,000 and a $900,000 price range. If you look at the chart here, you can see that the condo price reductions were pretty much split between South Maui and West Maui. Kihei led, obviously, um, but we did see a significant amount of price reductions on the west side. Moving forward from there, why didn't the condo price reductions convert into escrows? And like I said, I think there's two reasons for this, and this unit at the Palms at Wailea fits both of the criteria that I just talked about. So the price reductions may look significant, but they're coming down from unrealistic price points. At the Palms of Wailea, a unit dropped from 1.775 million to 1.55 million. And while that may look significant, it's still priced at $1,300 per square foot. And things are trading between 905 and 978, so it's still priced at a premium. And then it's also been on the market for 475 days. So if we get 50 or 60 new listings every week in the Maui real estate market, after 400 days, this thing is just not remembered by most people. And it would take a significant price reduction to kind of regenerate that interest. They waited too long before doing the price reduction. Price cuts can bring new attention, but after sitting too long, new inventory pushes the listings aside. Just some more examples at Wailea Point, 823 days on the market. And then at Hale Mahina, B305 was 628 days. Palms at Wailea, 475 days. So some of these things have been sitting for a really long time. No single market accounted for more than 15% of single family home price reductions. So while we saw majority of the condo price reductions in Kihei this past week, it was different for single family homes. Most price reductions are happening in the core market between 1 million and 2.5 million, with multiple adjustments in Kihei and across the island. The reason that I'm picking on Kihei here is because it just shows that even in one of the most in-demand areas for single-family homes, people are still having to do price reductions. One that I'm going to be keeping an eye on is 7112 Upper Chemo, and I think it is now priced to compete. We're going to look at the pictures real quick for this one, but it has bi-coastal views, and there's views um, over South Maui, so it's actually located in Kula, but there's these South Maui views you can see from different areas of the house, and looks like it goes all the way over to Kahului as well. So you have from the office, from the bedrooms, from the yard, obviously the kitchen. I mean, look at those views over South Maui. So I think this one is, let's see if we can even get Kahului views over here. Yeah. So getting back into analyzing it here. So this one is located in Upper Chemo. So I was looking at the Kula single family home market. Demand is coming back. In March, we had six sales. That's up 100% year over year. The median price is down 38% to 2.075 million, and now 7112, which reduced its price from 2.16 to 1.98, $180,000 price reduction, is priced below that median sold price for March 2026. Also, sellers received 94% of asking price. Days on market was 103 days. Just another stat that kind of shows that these places in Kula are in demand is 17% of the properties sold above ask, and the price per square foot was $752. 7112 has been on the market 188 days, so it has been on the market a little bit longer, but it offers bi-coastal views with an attached one bed, one bath ohana. And I think the biggest thing with this one now is that it's under $2 million. I think it opens itself up to a lot more potential buyers, and now they're in a good position. Kihei Village is 29101. So before I play the video there, I just wanted to talk about how price drops aren't converting, but four of the 50 new listings did. All four pendings were condo, highlighting the importance of looking past just the headlines, because obviously if you're selling a single family home, it wasn't particularly a great week for new listings. All four of these were condos. Activity included Kihei Villages and Lahaina Shores. There was a couple properties at Lahaina Shores, which again I think is good because the west side is starting to diversify. 2 weeks ago, it was Napili that led pretty much with activity for condos, and then the week after that, it was Kaanapali, and now it's Lahaina. So I think that's good. And then I'm just going to play this video here. This was from Thursday's show when I was talking about Kihei Villages 29101. This is one of the four that went pending. So this thing is priced at the top of the market. And normally, on these shows, I've been saying it kind of doesn't make sense to go with the high test the market range. However, with this unit, I think they can actually get away with it. And the reason for that is I think people will still consider it at this price point. There's 10 active listings in the complex, so you're gonna have people that are coming through and seeing other units. And Kihei Villages, just like Kahalui Ikina, is one of those places where if people are gonna go see one unit, they might hit up a couple other agents and check out other units. And so I think you're gonna get eyeballs on it, even if it is priced a little bit high. It's sitting above the recent average at 617 square feet and close to the higher end of recent sales. Um, what likely happens with it probably has to adjust a little bit before selling, but there is a chance that this thing would get an offer at this price range, and I don't think it's at this price point, and I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea to kind of test the market. And if there was an area in the Kihei condo market where you could do this, I think Kihei Villages is the place. Kihei Village. Moving forward from there, competition increases in Haiku, Kaanapali, Makwa, and Wailea for single-family homes. So active inventory held steady at 1,568 listing, but homes came off the market across multiple areas. One of the areas that we're going to talk about is Makwa. Less inventory means more competition, with 1088 Mamalu Place in Makwa as one to watch. Um, so before we take a look at the pictures, just a little background on the property. This is a three bed, two bath, 1,006 square foot home. So it is relatively small for a single family home. It's priced at just under $1 million. It's located in a quiet cul-de-sac location in Makwa. It's close to Makwa Town. It's close to Makwa Elementary School, Seabury, Kincaid Kalike, Kalama. So you're close to a bunch of schools and parks, Editam being one of those. Now it's priced above the comps at around $992 per square foot, but it's a single level three-bedroom home. It has a usable yard and more land to justify the premium. So let's actually go ahead and take a look at it now. So single level, three bed, seems like an open living space here. Um, Bedrooms and bathrooms all look pretty standard. It looks like it's a little bit of an older home. Um, but it is a great location, has a two-car garage, has a lot of usable land like I'm talking about. So if you wanted to update or add on, you could potentially do that. You have the quiet cul-de-sac location. Um, and looks like it was built in 1988. It's now been on the market for 4 days. So I think a big thing with this property too is the market that it's in right now. So the Makwao isn't building inventory. So Makwao inventory has stayed flat over the last couple of weeks. Now, if you look at Makwao, Olinda, and Hali'imaile, there has been more activity with 19 sales in the past 90 days. But if you look at Makwao specifically, there hasn't been a ton of things that were selling. I think it was two of those 19 that actually were in Makwao that ended up selling. Um, and then, yeah, the inventory has remained flat. Now, if you compare that to something like Kahului, there's more active inventory. Um, and we're seeing more things sell. So the limited supply in Makwa actually supports 1088 attracting an offer even at a higher price. So this is kind of the point that I wanted to make here because if you look at Kihei Village's 29101, the condo that I was talking about last Thursday, my point was that there was so much activity and there was so much inventory at Kihei Villages that you were going to get eyeballs on it, so you could price a little bit higher and maybe get an offer, which actually ended up happening. Now if you look at this property in Makawa, it's kind of the opposite story, but I don't think that means you have to lower the price because right now it's one of the only options in Makawa. So if you have people that are interested and they're convinced that they want to be in Makawa, if this thing is priced a little bit higher compared to recent sales and it's not like over the top, with the price, which this property is not, I think they'll consider looking at it and you might get an offer at this higher price point. And then final thoughts. So for buyers, I think it's important to know if you're in a Makawa market or a Kahului market. Basically, what I mean there is, are you in a market where there's a ton of inventory, or are you in the market where there's limited inventory? Kahului would be an example where there is a lot of inventory and there's a lot of activity, things coming on and going off the market every week. Makawa is an example where sales are a little bit slower and there's less inventory. If you are in Kahului, you may need to move quicker if you find something that you love, just because there's more people looking for homes there. While in Makwa, you want to avoid overpaying for limited inventory. So while the strategy for the sellers might be let's price a little bit higher because we're the only house in town, you don't want to fall for that. If you are looking to purchase a place in Makwa, you want your offer to, be based off of the recent comps. So avoid overpaying for limited inventory and don't be swayed by price reductions. I mean, we saw triple digits now. They are common and not always meaningful. And then for sellers, know if you're in a competitive market with similar listings or high turnover. So if you're in a market like Kihei Villages, where a lot of the units are the same and there's a lot of activity, a lot of turnover, you may be able to go with the 29101 playbook and price a little bit higher because you're going to get eyeballs on it. In those markets, you may have room to price slightly higher and still get close to your number. If you need to reduce the price, do it early. Don't wait like some of these other properties, 400, 500, 800 days to reduce your price just because there has been a flood of inventory um, since then. And then waiting too long makes it harder to gain traction. And then when you do that price reduction, if you end up doing it, make sure you get it down into a price range where things are actually trading. Make sure you're still not, priced above that range. And yeah, that's all the information that I got for today. Thank you guys for watching. Here's all of our team information. I'm on all the social media platforms as well: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, X, Substack for written content. Pretty much anywhere you can consume content, I am there. And like, comment, subscribe. Let me know the kind of videos that you guys want to see in the comment section. Maybe there's an area of Maui that you're interested in that I haven't talked about. So yeah, leave a comment on this video and I hope everybody has a great day.